If I could build a better you. It was the sound of breaking glass on the hardwood floor that tore you from your dreams. A half second of paralysis and then a clouded analysis of the sound surrounds your brain. You seek for words in the space resting upon your face to be able to explain to the night that everything is all right. But a sneaking suspicion seeps into your consciousness and you know that nothing will ever again feel quite right. It was the heaviness of the sound that shattered your sleep, not simply a plate or glass splattered on the kitchen floor. It sounded more like a porcelain mausoleum dropped onto the floor of a crypt coliseum. The echo sending shockwaves through your world, knocking over the vases in which you keep your faces, the spaces on the floor filled with torn paintings of your memories and scattered sculptures of shattered cultures that defined your mental museum. But the dam that holds back the emotional ocean stands tall and strong against the quake's fight, because hidden in your id is the notion that you're too strong to break. Right? The floor is cold under your feet as you creep down the hallway, languidly caressing the wall to guide you, assessing your fears as they unwind blindly behind you. When you get to the scene of the crime, a quiet commotion mixed with a silent stir of emotion, a concoction of death's potion drips unto you, a scene of disheartening dismay, unraveling in slow motion. Shards of broken glass, broken bones mixed with screams of bleeding memories, pooling blood, snapped tendons of thoughts, fragments of happiness, twisted hair wrapped around empty prayers, choking innocence, torn skin, shattered life. Your world lies in a million pieces upon the floor of the home that you built your life upon, but is now the tomb from which its last aching breath will gasp and you collapse. The door to your living room closes behind you, and the last sliver of light, glistening off the remnants of your life, dissipates into the night. And suddenly the silent darkness sinks you into an agony that is starless, and catharsis can never ease this moment. I am standing in your soul, distant echoes of dreams laughing at us, reading the sign you've etched into your hypothalamus with sharpened shrapnel that once were feelings. It reads, "Shoes required here. Failure to follow can result in sliced soles and lacerated toes." Pieces of you strewn about the room, limbic system swinging from an arterial noose, a mine shaft through your consciousness feeding feelings through a serotonin sluice. If I could build a better you, I would, because you've earned the right. You don't deserve this plight. Rummaging through thoughts, sadness dripping from stalactite uvula, from which your voice rang so calm and proud, now shouting through the shrouded silent death of soliloquy, to not to be or not to be. I start with your heart. I hold it in my hands and breathe life into it with love, unconditional positive defibrillation, bringing back to life a life that needs to be alive and should. If I could build a better you, I would, and I'm trying. Once the heart is complete and beating, I find the hole in your soul that needs to be replete and replace the empty space with your heart. I use the beauty that you offer the world as a suture, and I seal the wound up with the promise of a blissful future. And then I find your feet and know the need to be discreet when completing this feat, because they are grounding rods for the soul. Sadness multiplied by grief to the power of loss equals the weight of the sun never rising again. A weight that is greater than or equal to the last gasp of air before the water of the world envelops your lungs forever. A weight that only true heartache knows. I hold your souls in my hands, massaging the epidural alcoves that know too well their own roles. They know they must carry this weight. They must carry the weight of this world, while your pain and the constant strain of time unto them is also hurled. So I place them upon the ground where you once so proudly stood. If I could build a better you, I know that I could. Next is your brain. I found it fragmented, displayed, and flayed open, afraid, hiding under the conveyor system that pumps numbness into your veins. And it cries, "Why has this happened? How did this happen? What life is expected of me to imagine?" Your brain eats away at your soul with questions like cancer, not understanding that there will never be a right answer. Hallucinations of a life that should be, lesions created by subconscious legions of grief eating away at the walls of your frontal cortex. A vortex of conflicting feelings leaves the mind tired, confused, and bleeding. Your past, a Carthaginian destruction, salting the wounds that the pain gave your brain while setting your reality ablaze and left wounded and smoldering out in the rain. I wrap these wounds with surgical gauze strong enough to protect you from this world's liturgical flaws. It's knitted with strength and passion and faith, warmed by tomorrow's sun, molded by the fact that tomorrow's been erased. A swan song rings in the recesses as your memories pour from your eyes, flowing down your face and into a pool of metacognitive resolution. You can now think clearly about the pain, and the first steps of acceptance become spatially awake in your brain. Arms, legs, hands, hair, eyes, skin, smile. I put you back together with architectural style, and I caress your forehead, moving a lock of hair to behind your ear so I may look into your eyes where the pain has disappeared. The aches from years of abuse and hiding in the mind's recluse get a calming balm made from the prospect of a future that waves a flag of truce that reads, "It will be okay." Scratches and scrapes of regret and emotional debt are bandaged with the melodies of the requiem from which your heart keeps beat. Vengeance upon the darkened shadows of yesterday's memories marches with heavy feet. If you prick us, will we not bleed? But I suddenly become aware that I cannot build a better you because beauty has built a perfect you already. So steady flows this petty prose from my realization that it was never you who needed to be rebuilt. But it's the world around you that is a glutton with guilt. Gilded by a mask that is smiling but is nothing more than a slave master. Your heart, which works so hard but has been torn apart and lashed and made to beat faster, is now calm, and the sadist face that haunts you is now gone. I cannot build a better you, but I can help beat back the wolverines of the world that pumps merciless hate machines through its veins. And I can promise you that life will get better. I can promise you that my heart hurts for you. And as I put the final fragments back into place, I smile, stepping from your face. Suddenly chagrined, I now see that you've been replaced by a hastily encased mirror. As I stare at my own face and see a reflection of a world we can't escape, I see a reflection of my own rebuilding phase. If we can empathize, see our lives through each other's eyes, then maybe our shared pain won't seem so bizarre. If I could build a better you, I couldn't, because the definition of perfection is what you already are.